glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakar, Quadash, and double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Let me back up. And also, and the elder bishops on down as well, and to include the Yakim overall, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Brakatham. And it's this news again, which is to do with the Motb prophecy, which is right around the corner. So as this reads, Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previously optional biometrical-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens. Last month's legislator approved the amendment to a law related to the 18-character personal identifier, known as a unique population registry code. As well as you can see, my Latin isn't good, so I'm not going to bother reading that. With the change formalized on Wednesday through a decree, the mandatory code will contain personal and biometric information, including a photograph and a QR code containing biometric fingerprint and iris data. The identifier is expected to be introduced gradually to all Mexicans by February 2026. So there you go. And it's not just Mexico that's doing it. You have all of these various nations all around the world that are being told to, set up their biometric digital ID setup, which is going to be based on the Bill Gates system. All right, and I'm going to go into that later on. And as well as even in Pakistan, they're doing the same thing as well. All right, as this reads, Pakistan switches to digital ID applications from websites to mobile app. Pakistan's National Database and Registration Authority, NADRA, is closing down its public service website and launching a mobile app to replace it. All service previously offered from the Pak ID website, including applications for national digital identity cards, NICOP, POCB form, and FRC, will be offered through the Pak ID mobile app. Federal Interior Ministry Mohsen Naqvi said the reasons for the change includes the launch of fake websites by fraudulent actors to obtain sensitive personal information from Pakistanis and challenge using the website experienced by citizens, and particularly those overseas, the Express Tribune's reports. Source also told the Tribunes that some police in the country had been misusing real-time identity verification function offered by Nadra Verisi. So their excuses is to do with people launching fake websites, right? And there's a list of excuses why they want to formulate this digital ID system. Excuses that they have a reason to say why they're doing this, but also excuses that they've formulated themselves. Like, for example, in the West, Europe, the UK, and as well as America, have been having immigration issues. And nothing happens if the higher powers are not involved. All right? Everything happens because of them. So if we're having immigration issues, then it's to do with these people. Okay, that's coercing that situation so they can use that situation on why we need border patrol from a digital standpoint. And all that's going to do is just going to sway everybody right towards a technocratic rule, which is going to pave the way for the mandatory chipping. It's just like I just read to you in this article over here. It was optional to, use this biometric identifier, but they passed a law that it's now mandatory to be used. So it's the same thing with these chips. You see, you got people walking around that are chipped, and it's optional. But the time is going to come when it's going to be made mandatory for you to take that implantable device. And what Esau is doing is he's using a technique, as well as we've been known to say, is gradualism. because you can't just smack people upside the head with this new agenda. You got to graduate people towards this agenda. And that's how this devil gets down. As well as it's written that even in the field, their father, their descendants, was a cunning hunter. So Esau is very cunning in his works to get you to accept his agenda. All right. So anyway, like I was saying earlier before, the Mexico biometric identity system, and as well as the digital ID system, is by the behest of Billy Boy, as you can see right on the screen here. So as this reads, Mexico mandates Bill Gates biometric digital ID with iris and fingerprint data for entire population. As this reads now, the change signed into law, as I've already read already. You know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. As I've read this already in the other article, I'm going to read this over here. I'm going to skip down and I'm going to read this over here. The overhaul reflects the World Economic Forum's blueprint for global digital ID infrastructure for years. The forum has promoted digital identity systems, absolutely, as essential tools for those who wish to continue participating in society, arguing they are necessary for access to financial services, healthcare, travel, and civil rights. In the World Economic Forum document and panels, digital IDs is often framed as a solution to social inclusion, absolutely, but privacy advocates warns that these systems pave the way for an unprecedented population surveillance and centralized control, and that's what they want. They want everybody to be under full technocratic control and gathering your data, and the more data they can gather is the more they can manipulate you. Just like, for example, they're doing it right now where they're sending you these ads that's very well fitting of the things that you look at. Okay, so they'll be able to basically manipulate you and have you go into more trends that they have in mind. They could just do what the hell they want to do to you. Let me just put it that way. Okay, so yeah, the point is just very well clear. I don't really have to read any more on this at all. It is what it is. I mean, the mark of the beast system is about to be initiated in a matter of time. All right, and you know it's going to be had at the same time is the fact that it's going to be said that Great No Stone was absolutely and only but to be corrected. Okay, we were the ones that were correct all of this time while everybody was bullshitting around with the prophecies. We were strictly about them. And so when it gets real, people are going to be fucking confused. They're going to be discombobulated, which means the same thing. And they're not going to know what hit them. Okay, and all of these camps, they're going to break apart. And people are going to just be, like I said, people are going to be very, very confused. And when you're confused, that's when that's when fear can enter in. And you know what's going to happen with these people? They're going to end up taking that mark. All right, but within these camps, we know that there's probably an election within them, and they're going to get right before the time permits. Okay, so every day that goes by and pass is an opportunity to repent. And if you guys don't repent until then you know what, you might end up taking that mark, and you're going to be on your way out in the wrong kind of setting, man. You know, and that's just the way it's going to go down from there. You know, with you individuals that don't want to get correct with the doctrine that we're teaching you. The mark of the beast is indeed the implantable device that they're going to be made that they're going to make mandatory to you. All right, and that's just that. So yeah, with that, I want to close this and I say shalom.